Brought to you by Penguin.
The Conversation by Robert Livingston. Read for you by Desmond Manny. Note to listeners. This audiobook includes a downloadable PDF, which contains charts and illustrations from the book. Introduction. The lecture hall on the campus of Harvard University was abuzz with the amped-up energy of students arriving for their first day of class. These students, however, were far from undergraduates. They were a motley crew of corporate leaders, police chiefs, university presidents, military brass, NGO directors, elected officials, social activists, and entrepreneurs. As they filed into their seats, I couldn't help but notice Ted. In part due to his towering stature and shiny bald head, and in part due to his demeanor. He seemed slightly uneasy and withdrawn. Was his discomfort the result of being surrounded by dozens of strangers from all over the world, or was it related to the topic of the course? I soon discovered that it was the latter. Unlike the other attendees, Ted had no desire whatsoever to attend my 6-day executive education course on strategies for building diversity, equity, and inclusion. No way. In fact, he had intended to enroll in a course on authentic leadership that was being offered during the same week. A registration error had landed him in my course instead. A self-described polite Midwesterner, Ted went along with the mix-up, despite a healthy dose of disappointment and trepidation. "Oh boy, this is going to be the longest week of my life," he later admitted thinking as he sat in the lecture hall, preparing himself for what he assumed would be the "let's beat up on the white guy" class. Ted served as mayor of a small but affluent city located about 20 miles from a Midwestern metropolis. He had grown up on a farm and in many ways fit the country stereotype. He is a strapping man, 6'5" with a ruddy complexion and a shaved head. The kind of guy who prefers jeans over slacks. Ted began his career as a firefighter in his early 20s and, over time, rose to become the fire chief before transitioning to his role as the city's chief administrator. He had been surrounded by whiteness his whole life, both in his hometown and in the nearby city that he ran. Ted didn't say much that first morning. He sat quietly, intensely absorbing the course material and commentaries from his classmates. It was his first time learning about the dynamics of structural racism and the numerous disparities that it creates. His face expressed a combination of curiosity and skepticism. When he finally raised his hand during a discussion on implicit bias, his first comment was, "So I guess this means I'm a bigot." "I'm not sure, Ted," I replied, "but that's not a term that I'd use. We all have some type of bias. What differentiates us is what we choose to do about it. We may not be able to control our thoughts, but we have the power to determine our actions." Throughout that week, Ted's assumptions about the world were challenged. The course stretched his comfort zone. After all, he was seeing more racial diversity in one classroom than in his entire hometown. As the days and hours went on, I saw Ted's discomfort dissipate. The 50-some participants were together almost every waking hour. Breakfast, classes, excursions, lunch, dinner, cocktails. More cocktails. New friendships were formed. For many of the students, the course was as much about building relationships with one another and with me as it was about honing skills and expertise. Earlier in my career, I was taken by surprise when people who attended my courses seemed intent on getting to know me personally, asking about my childhood hobbies or my favorite foods. Why would they care? What I've learned over the years, however, is that those hours of small talk dramatically increase the likelihood that people will hear me during the hours of formal presentations. Relationships provide a portal for facts to enter and learning to occur. They create what Brian Stevenson, founder and executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative, and author of Just Mercy.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?